Okay, cool. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode where I ask many, many questions and these people cannot answer me. So, this is the Kingdom of Copper live show. If you haven't seen our City of Brass live show, it will be linked down below for you to check out. And I'm joined by these lovely three ladies. Joanna, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Joanna from the channel Joanna Sosa, and I like to read a lot of fantasy. I try to read some sci-fi, but I mostly read fantasy. And I have read City of Brass, Kingdom of Copper twice, but I have yet to read The Empire of Gold.
Abby?
Me. Hi, I'm Abby from the channel Abby Salter. I think, like most of us, I read a lot of fantasy. I have read Kingdom of Copper. This was my third time reading it. If you can't tell, I am obsessed with this series because I love it so much. This was my first time listening to it on audiobook, and yet again, it was 5 stars for the third time.
My name is Ali, and I'm from the channel Kissy Reads. I also read a ton of fantasy, like everyone else, and this is my first time reading the series, but I did end up finishing the entire series for various reasons.
That's so cool. Like, I had to restrain myself not to pick up Empire of Gold just because I didn't want to mix the two when we did this live show. So,
I mean, I'm currently reading Empire of Gold and like 500 pages in, so... or rereading. But this is only the second time reading Empire of Gold.
Yeah, because so the only people who haven't read is me and Joanna.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, cool. Because I want to get into predictions, and I was like, I'm the only one that's going to be predicting stuff. So maybe Joanna can help me out with that.
All right, and I'm going to be like this.
Yeah.
Remember.
Yeah, because last live show, I was asking all the questions, and then no one's answering me. I'm like, I know you can't answer me, but I have so many questions. Yeah.
Oh, this book was so good, guys.
It was.
I beat it. It was so good.
Okay, let's go into ratings. I obviously gave it 5 stars. I'm guessing everyone else gave it 5 stars.
I did not give it 5 stars. I think it was just a little slow for me in comparison to the first one. And I was just like...
What did you give it?
Did you give it 4 stars?
I think it was like 4.5 stars. Like, it was very much up there, but it was just not like... Because 5 stars is like an absolute favorite, like something that I would reread over again. I think I would reread the first and third one, but I don't know that I would reread the second one. Maybe I would, but...
Abby, your face was like, did you give it at least a 4 stars? If not, I'm going to ask to get you kicked out.
I'm going to come to Boston from London just to slap you in the face.
Like, how dare you not give this 5 stars?
Yeah,
no, it's still really great.
But I will say, like, this second book is a lot more political, and it definitely, it leans a lot more political than like the first book and the third book. So it depends if you like politically driven fantasy books, if you're going to enjoy the second book in the series.
I think
the Well of Ascension in the series
expectations were different. I think that's where it was, because I like political intrigue, but I usually have to be prepared for something like that, for something to be so slow. And if I'm prepared for it, then I usually am okay with it. I like it. But I think because City of Brass was so action-packed, there was so much happening that I was hoping that we would have at least some more action, and I felt like it really didn't balance out well with not action.
And I think judging... I mean, going in on a reread, I knew that there's the time jump, but whereas when you go in for the first time, you don't necessarily realise that you're going to have a 5-year time jump between the first book and the second book. And so that is a little bit like, oh, we've lost a chunk of time here. We've jumped forward. But once you read it, you can sort of see why that time jump is there, because you wouldn't have been able to like have the political situation have developed so much.
Yeah.
If we'd gone straight in.
And then with the time jump, I think things are understandably like much calmer. So you're not going to get like a ton of action in this one. So.
I think that was the thing that was missing for me in the first book. I think the first book was just very, very fast for me. And I like political intrigue and slow pace. That's why I feel like this was my favorite. Like, I haven't read the third one, but so far this is my absolute favorite. Like, so much so that it's a contender with Jade War. It's like up there.
Wow.
so good.
I'd,
I can't.
I'd say Empire of Gold sort of mixes the two paces. That it has a mixture of the action, but there is still quite a lot of political intrigue going on.
Yeah.
And I can definitely see how, obviously, with how Kingdom of Copper ends, I can definitely see how the two would mix for sure. Because there's not really much a non-spoiler talk, so we'll just go straight into spoilers. Cause
it's quite hard to talk about it without talking spoilers.
Yeah, and plus, whatever we said in City of Brass, the non-spoiler, it's literally the same now because we all love it. Okay, first of all, let's just go back to the Dara thing, okay? So at first, when I first read the book, I was warming up to Dara, and obviously at the end, he was with Manize and they stormed the place and then they killed a bunch of people. That's what I didn't like. However, I did understand why Dara went along with it, because obviously with him killing a lot of people in the war, he wants it not to be for nothing, and he feels guilty if he doesn't go the way it goes, like it was going, that the murders that he did didn't mean anything. Means he would have to face that guilt and consequences of that. So he went along with it. However, for me, like, killing people is not justifiable by anything else. Like, I cannot accept any reason for that. But I understand where he was coming from, and I do pity him for sure. I think there is probably I would probably like him in the next book. It's just right now I have mixed feelings about him. I think about it every day. It's just really hard.
That's so cute.
I know. Abby is just like this.
I think with Dara is you can see his internal struggles, because he has this, I guess, maybe idea of Manize as being a certain person, and he knows that she's resurrected him for whatever reason. He's got this idea of the Nahids in his head, that he wants to support them, that is his role in life, to support the Nahids. But then he also has this conflict of knowing that the path that they're on isn't necessarily the best path. But he also doesn't want to rebel from his position of like supporting the Nahids. So he's really conflicted of what he wants to do and where he wants to go.
And plus, that's what he was.
I think that still continues.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously, he was raised to believe in the Nahids, so he can't really get away from that. Yeah,
and it's tricky to see his like internal struggles with it, and as well when he sees the devastation of what they've caused in Daevabad from that poison, and like knowing that he could have, well, not necessarily could have prevented it, but what his role was in causing that.
Yeah. He could have done something about it, because he realized how much power he has, but he didn't use it for the right reasons.
Yeah. And seeing maybe like Nari's reaction to that.
Yeah.
And seeing the devastation.
Because ultimately he was doing it for Nari, for a better future for Nari. But seeing Nari react negatively about it, he questioned it. But he can't question it too much, or else, his guilt will come out and stuff. Yeah. Like I said, I understand what he's going through, but it's just really hard for me to like him.
Yeah, right? I feel the same. I feel like he's that kind of person, where you go gambling and you've already lost so much money, so you're like, well, I'm just going to continue gambling, because at this point, what's another $100 or so? And that's him with, I've already killed so many people, what's another, I don't know how many people. And that's what made it so difficult for me to like him, because it's exactly that. It's at some point you could just stop, and yes, you have all that guilt and you will have to work through it no matter what, but he just keeps on going. And that's why I really liked it when I first read City of Brass, but then I read Kingdom of Copper, and that kind of changed my view on him. And now I don't know, because I haven't read Empire of Gold, but I have mixed feelings about Dara for sure.
I'm glad that S.A. Chakraborty added his perspective in here, so that we can see his thought process and his emotions for it. And that made all the characters more, well, not all the characters, it's just, I like the characterization in City of Brass, but that added perspective just made it a lot more complex because all of them are just not black and white. They're all gray, which is great.
Yeah.
You're Team Dara, aren't you, Ali?
Well, I just read. Well, I don't know how to answer that question. I'm not team anyone except for Nari, I would say, after reading all the books. I think when it comes to Dara and murdering people and his guilty conscience, it's like for whatever reason, I can always put myself in the shoes of the villain much easier than the hero. I just find that really, I don't know if it's like a personality flaw or something, but I feel like murdering people is obviously never right, but I think when you're in that kind of war, I don't know that I would do anything different. If I feel so righteous in exactly what I'm doing and I think it's so right, you probably wouldn't even see it as murder because you're not looking at these people that you're killing as people.
Yeah.
There's that conflict too, I think, when he realizes that, like, oh my gosh, they're people, and like, what did I do? And he spent the last like millennia or like hundreds of years thinking or realizing that he killed people, and it wasn't just these like sandflies or shafit that are less than.
Yeah.
It's the indoctrination of it over thousands of years that these people are lesser.
Yes, exactly. So you're not seeing them, and I think that's such a it's such a awesome way to show that in a fantasy novel, because it obviously happens like in our real world as well, where people are not seen as people. So killing them is like justifiable, but it's not justifiable because you're not justifying killing people. You're killing something that's not a human in your mind. And like when you bring that up in like a fantasy world, it's like it's conflicting because you're like, that's not right, but that happens all the time in our world, which I'm not going to get into. And then I think just him with the powder, I was really frustrated with that as well. I was so frustrated because I was like, you could just stop. And I couldn't understand why he wouldn't just stop. Like why would he stop? I think is it Manize or Manizet? I don't know how to pronounce her name.
Manizet, I think.
Manizet.
Oh, Maniza, sorry. Maniza.
I say Maniza.
Yeah, the audiobook says Maniza.
Maniza, okay.
Yeah.
I was really frustrated with him not stopping her with the powder after he saw the first effects of it. And I was also frustrated with other people, not just Dara, not stopping her when the powder was released, because everybody knew it was wrong, not just Dara. And I was also very frustrated with that part.
I think
because
that was
Maniza as a villain.
Sorry, go on, Abby. I was just
saying Maniza as a villain. Like, you know that she is bad, but you can see where she's coming from as well. Like her and Ghassan, they're two sides of the same coin. Like neither one of them is good. Like you don't really want to support either of them as winning, but you definitely don't want to support Maniza in her conquest of Daevabad because you know she's going about it the wrong way. You could see that if she had been raised differently, if she had had a different upbringing, then she wouldn't be acting this way. And you just sort of wish that she was a better person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that can be the same for like literally every single character, where if they were to be brought up different, everything would be different. If history didn't go the way it went, everything would be different. And also with the characters, we can't really root for them because they're all in a side, and the only person we can really support is Nari because she wants to do the right thing. And
Nari.
Yeah, I'm just with Nari at this point. And with the thing with the romance, right? And for the first time, I like that there's not really much of a romance in here, right? Like we can see the hints of it, but it's not really there. And for me, like I feel like I want Nari to be alone, but obviously there is that hint of romance. So I know you, Abby, and Ali already read Empire of Gold, but I want to know, like, who do you think Nari might end up with? Because I don't want her to end up with anyone.
Yeah.
But
I don't want her to end up with anyone either.
I don't want to end up. I just want her to be alone because those two men have so much baggage and they need to sort their shit out. Okay?
Yeah.
It's not good to get into a relationship with Nari with that much baggage. But I don't know.
If I had to guess, I would say she would end up with Ali, I think.
I think so too. Like feel like that's an obvious guess, but we'll
I
see.
could see that Dara would finally get relief and die and go back to his sister, because we had that moment where he almost reaches his family, and when Manaiza pulls him back and he's like, God damn it, I just wanted to be there and be in peace. Why did I have to come back? And I wish that for him, honestly. I wish that he can finally have absolution and just go on. So
Yeah,
if
I
had
wish
to wager
he
a
had,
guess.
yeah, I wish he had happiness as well for the end. I obviously don't know what's gonna happen. Like either I wish he has a new life, he wanted like a wife or children, just like a life, or he wants peace in the afterlife. I guess that would be okay, but I guess we'll see what happens there, because nothing in this series is going well.
You don't think, right, that she's gonna end up with what's his name? Her husband. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, right?
No.
Yeah, we all agree.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, it's Munster and Jamshid. Munster and
You got your
Jamshid.
answer to that.
I love that relationship so much,
Me
actually.
too.
I love that I called it in that live show. I was like, I can see this happening, and it did happen. I'm so happy.
Yeah, I love them together as well.
So cute. And I like how Jamshid and Nari are brothers and sisters as well. That little hint of sibling relationship was cool. I want to see more of that. Mm-hmm. Hopefully she can get back to Daewon. And also, with her traveling, no, wait, let me start from the beginning, right? Okay. So Ali's powers is kind of still a mystery in this book. We don't really know how he's gotten these powers and where he sort of originated from, because there was a scene where he had like a kind of flashback with Anahid. I think her name is Anahid, where she was building Daewon for the first time. And he was in this Marid, and a different Marid was like pushing him and saying like, my prince or whatever, you gotta escape. So I don't know if my theory is right that Ali is the lost Marid prince, or it could be something else. I don't know, but that's my theory. He might be the lost Marid prince, but I don't know how that would work per se.
Yeah, that could work. Yeah. And that the Ayan, they have hidden it or something. Maybe his mother and his sister knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I really don't know. Maybe he was possessed by that Marid prince. Could be. And then the powers of that was a residue in Ali or something.
I will say you will get answers.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Thank God.
And I feel very confident using this book for Poseidon.
Okay.
Because of the amount of water in it.
Wonder why.
Abby's face when you guys were talking was just
I'm not to look at her.
And I was focusing
smiling
on Abby's face.
Watching Abby. It was so great.
I was also watching
poker
Abby
face,
as I was talking.
poker face.
It was the cutest, most like, I don't know, you couldn't hold it in. You were like you were trying really hard, but there was a lot under the surface there.
Yeah.
Under the surface, huh? Okay, sorry. That was a dad joke. That's why I love having live shows with people who've already read more, because then you can have these moments.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I like that Nari put the ring on Ali instead of herself, because that's kind of like true to character, because she doesn't want to be tied down so bad. And she didn't even give Ali a chance. She just put it on there and shoved him in the water. It's great.
But I love that like scene where like they're on that, I don't know, not balcony, but the parapet.
Yeah.
And like there's the showdown with Manaiza and Nari, and they've got the dead Kasada that they've just cut the ring out of his heart, and you're like, what is gonna happen here? What is gonna happen? And then when she like double bluffs her mother, where she's like, have this ring. I was like, such a good showdown.
I did not expect her to double bluff her mother. I will say, I was like, oh no, here we are. The ring's going to go to Manaiza, and now what's going to happen? It's just going to be crazy. But that was actually genius. I don't really like that she gave it to Ali. I didn't want him to have the ring, because I don't think he should also be in power. But
yeah, I feel like no one should be in power except Nari, but I understand where Nari was coming from of not wanting to be tied down. So she just
I think
shoved that responsibility.
Yeah, it was in line with her character to give it to Ali.
It did not want to be it. Yeah, I could understand that. I just wish it hadn't been Ali. Okay.
The thing is also, like, how do they get to Cairo? That's just so weird. They appeared in Cairo. It could be either Ali transporting them, but he was like, why did you bring us here? So does Nari have other powers? I don't know.
I mean, they fell in the lake.
Yeah. And I feel like Ali took them there because they fell in the lake. But
you will see.
I love this.
My water dance.
Oh god.
Something I really liked was the whole hospital thing that she created. That for
yes. Oh my gosh, I loved that. And also the other enslaved devas that she got to know in the Kingdom of Copper. One of the most interesting parts for me were those, like, listening to those devas and her meeting them.
Yeah, same. I love that. I'd completely forgotten about all of that plot line, and then when I read that, I was like, "Oh, I forgot. This is so good." Yeah.
Yeah, I love them building the hospital and stuff. That was really, really cool. And she partnered up with Subhashini. I think that was her name. Yeah. Such a cool name to see, like, on a book, because I know friends and family members that are called Subhashini, and it's great. Yeah.
I really do like the names in this, like the names of all the characters. I was thinking that whilst I was on my walk listening to the audiobook. I was like, I do like all these names. I like them all.
Yeah.
Yeah. That book is like, I was talking with Sophia, and we're talking about video ideas and stuff. And I was like, oh, how about video idea of books that make you, like, that transport you somewhere else? And I feel like this is the book. Like, the series, you are there, you go, you see everything. It's like you can even smell the food that she describes. It's
so atmospheric. And because I relate to the culture so much, it makes me feel like I'm at home. And like, you know how Nari has that nostalgia of looking at or eating food that is from Cairo, and it brings her back to that environment. I feel like this is the same for me in this book. It just brings me back to the environment. And I just love the series for that. And I feel I'm craving for more Southeast Asian fantasy. And I really want to read The Jasmine Throne real bad.
I want to read that too. But the Cairo novellas as well, like, they have a similar vibe because they're set in Cairo.
Yeah. I really want to get that.
Ones. But yes, I want more.
I want more as well. I can't believe it's only something else.
Is she writing something else?
She's writing, I believe, an anthology set in this world, but I think it's like got short stories of like different aspects of it. And I know she's writing a pirate enemy to lovers fantasy book, which sounds
Where's that set?
amazing.
Did she say where that was? Did she say where that was set? Is that going to also be set in like a Middle Eastern or Egyptian, or is that going to be more set in a European? We don't know. Okay. I mean, pirate is probably going to be more like the Northern Europe, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Imagine
if it has that Sinbad vibes. That'll be great.
I watched that movie yesterday for the first time ever.
I had the biggest crush on Sinbad when I was little. I love that movie so much.
So good.
Yeah,
TV show.
It's so good.
There was a TV show.
Really?
There was a movie as well.
Yeah, I watched the movie. I'm pretty sure there was like a really cheesy like 80s or 90s TV show, but that might have been before your time. I'm a little bit older than all of you, so I got to catch that. I'm pretty sure. I'll look it up.
I think I am the youngest.
You sound so ancient, but when you say that,
I am. I'm wise, but I just look young. You know.
You look very young. Wait, how old are you?
I'm 32.
You're not that much older than us.
Well, some of you are like 26, no?
I'm 25. I'm turning 25.
Okay.
I'm turning 30 this year, guys. 30.
Okay. Well, Joanna, you're closer to my age.
Yeah.
Yeah, my 27th birthday is next week.
Oh, yes. Happy early birthday, Abby.
Yay.
Happy early birthday.
like, oh no. So I keep forgetting how old I am. I'm like, I'm 25. No, I'm not 25. No, I'm 24. No, you're going to be 27.
Even now, gonna be 25. I'm like, 25? And my younger cousins are like, huh, you're so old. I'm like, shut up. I'm just 25.
You know, the other day I was
my sister turned 23, and I was like, but I'm 23. And then I was like, no. And I'm like, how is she 23? She's 4 years younger than me. Oh, Abby, you're not 23 anymore.
The other day I was thinking about something that happened when I was 15, and I was like, 15 is literally half my life ago. How does that happen? It feels like it was yesterday.
I'm having a quarter-life crisis.
I went to uni like 10 years ago. I started uni nearly 10 years ago, and I'm like, how did that happen?
I graduated my master's more than a decade ago. But it feels like yesterday. And that means I did 2 degrees more than a decade ago, and I finished them.
Wow.
Isn't that shocking?
I'm still
young.
I'm still studying.
Well, that's okay. Everyone does things at different times in their life. I just did everything really early. And I also, when I started university, I was 17 for 4 months or something, or 2 months still. So I was really young when I started everything.
Speaking of my cousin who calls me old, this is the little one. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, hello. Vish is not old. Don't call her that.
I think she's 14. A baby.
She's going to be 25 one day, and she's going to be like, oh my God, I called
Please
you
don't.
old.
Her eldest sister is turning 21, and I'm freaking out. I can't take it.
In a blink of an eye, and then you're like 30.
I was there when they were all born.
Aww.
That's weird, isn't it? When you see that, and you're like, how are you so big now?
I know. I saw them yesterday, and I missed them already.
Aww. Fish. That's so cute. You're so cute.
Thanks. They're like my little sisters. That's why.
Yeah.
Love them. Hello, Adrienne. She is a trooper. She started reading City of Brass
I saw that
5 days ago, I think.
Yeah.
Or 3 days ago?
No, 2 days ago I saw her in the chat, and she was just like, I'm starting it now. And it was Friday. And I was like, go girl.
She finished Kingdom of Copper last night.
Wow.
And she gave it 5 stars. Good answer. Well, halfway through when they made the decision. Yeah. Yeah, I was very mad at him.
Also, my opinions of Muntadir changes throughout Kingdom of Copper.
Yeah.
In the beginning, you just want to be like, Muntadir, just grow up. But by the end of it, you're like, oh, Muntadir.
You know when he saved Ali, at the end? That's when I started sobbing. I don't know why I started crying, but I did. It's because I really love the sibling relationship. It's really cute.
You cry in this one. You're going to cry in the next one.
I'm ready. Where are my tissues?
There's one part in particular that made me cry.
Really? Oh no,
yeah.
I'm nervous.
But it's like a happy tears, but not for any reason that you possibly could guess.
Okay.
Because I did not see that coming, at all. But it was
anything. Seriously. I don't know what
I'm wondering, do you guys like happy endings or bittersweet endings? Because I feel like the Empire of Gold discussion is going to be very interesting because I like sad endings, bittersweet endings with some tragedy. But I know some people like happy endings. So.
Oh my God, who hurt you, Joanna? Why?
I like realistic endings.
Sorry?
I like realistic endings. They're satisfying, but they're not tied up with a neat bow.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it depends what I'm reading, because most of the time I'm going to be like Abby, but if I'm reading something that I need it to be cheesy, I just need them to be together. I need a happy ending. I need everyone to be alive. Then I'll need that.
I mean, a romance, obviously, if I'm reading a romance, then they have to end up together. I'm not going to read a romance to find out that they die at the end. No.
This is why I hate Romeo and Juliet. I don't know why everyone loves that freaking story.
I hate that.
I hate that too. So unsatisfying. No.
Yeah, and it's
ridiculous because they're idiots.
Yeah. Why are we idolizing idiots in literature? Why?
Natural selection has
literally
gotten
kids.
them.
Exactly. Talk about it in
They're like
science. Talk about
12-year-olds.
how natural selection should have gotten them. Sorry, Abby.
Exactly.
But they're idiots, and they're like 12.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's not a love story. It's children being idiots.
Stupid.
Yeah.
And parental
I'm
neglect.
pretty sure they're
They're still
children.
focusing so much on killing another family, they don't notice their children are dying. Like, who? Anyway,
We should buddy read Romeo and Juliet and have a huge ass friend.
I'm just gonna throw the book out the window. I can't.
I know.
I remember when I read it the first time, I was like, this is ridiculous. These kids are being stupid. Couldn't you just check her pulse or something?
Where is the science? Check the pulse.
And like
Just wait.
necessarily dramatic, like with this kiss I die. Like, no, just lay down, take a nap, and think about what you're doing. So
Take a chill pill, dude. Go.
Oh dear God.
But yeah, I agree. It depends on what you're reading. Like I don't like it generally if you've got a main central romance and then one of them dies, and I'm like,
I like it when they both die. That's the best. Sorry.
like I don't mind
deaths.
deaths.
Most of you will be hard.
I don't mind deaths. Like I love John Gwynn's books, and he's not scared to kill characters off. But I don't want like complete unhappiness. I want like a realistic characters can die because that's what happens in war. But I generally want things to be satisfying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what I want as well. I think I like a satisfying but realistic ending as well.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's sad, I don't know. I feel like I'll be. Yeah, I would
Sad.
not like the book. No, I would not like the book if it had a really sad ending.
I think you will like the ending.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
I think both of you will like the ending.
I agree.
Good. Good.
I mean, they don't. It might not be as dark as you might want, Joanna, but
It wouldn't suit the series anyway, so it's good.
Exactly.
John, if you ever write a book, I'm just gonna carry tissues with me everywhere. You're going to break my heart.
So Melvin knows this about me, right? And then when he first went to watch Avengers, not the last one, the one before that,
Infinity War.
Yeah, he went to watch that one first without me, and he came home and he was like, "You're gonna love the ending. You're gonna love the ending." And I was like, "Why am I gonna love the ending?" Has everyone seen it here? I assume.
Yeah,
I've seen all of them. Yeah.
Okay, and so at the end, when like, spoilers for Infinity War, if you haven't seen it, when half the population dies, he's like, "See, you would love this." I was like, "I would totally love this," and I loved it.
I mean,
that wasn't a realistic ending though, because
Yeah.
you know.
What about the red wedding in Game of Thrones?
Oh,
Listen, that was like a stab in the heart. I loved it.
This is so unexpected. You love your cinnamon roll characters, but then you also love like mass death.
yeah.
So when Game of Thrones was airing and the red wedding scene was happening, so I was going to watch it at a friend's house, and like no one had seen it, and like my housemate just said jokingly, like he didn't even watch the show. He just went, "Everyone dies," like as a complete joke. And you know how people used to go, "Oh, everyone dies," and then I got back from watching it, and I was like, "Everyone died. You were right."
What a prediction! Give this man a lottery ticket.
Seriously. I think the saddest part for me from the red wedding was the wolf, and then how they cut his head and sewed it on. That's the worst. Like I can have humans die left and right. It doesn't matter, but animals, it's like no, come on. Which is why John Gwynn's books were like terrifying to read.
I know Robin Hobb has a thing as well, like
so bad.
Okay.
So bad, dude. I read those books and I'm like, flip the page, like. Is it?
I'm probably gonna put Farsia Trilogy as like one of the picks for next time because I really want to read it.
That's so good.
I was thinking of starting the first one in July because there's like some buddy read happening for it. I can't remember who.
I think in Shell Space.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they have heaps going on there. Okay, I haven't even gone through the comments. I apologize. It's a particularly good job of writing characters. None of them perfect.
I agree.
Hello, Sophia. I don't love her with either, but I am heartbroken for her after losing Nisreen, yes. Yeah, but she kind of lost Nisreen, but she kind of gained Jamshid, which is great. But we don't know where Jamshid is. He's somewhere, I think, from what I remember. Hello.
But yeah, I was sad to see Nisreen die.
Me too.
Yeah, me too. But what was so out of character was how Nari just attacked Dara after a few minutes of seeing him different. I mean, you were just grieving for him.
That was like
I
5
think
years
she
ago.
mistaken him as a Ifrit. That's why she was attacking him, I think.
I think he
But-
surprised her. Wasn't it in her garden and like nobody goes there?
No, that was when Ali came back.
Yeah, that was Ali, yeah. She
Okay.
attacked Ali because he went into the garden.
Yeah. Okay. So sorry.
I think she has, like, in this book, well, like throughout the whole series, she has conflicting feelings for Dara because she loves him and she's attracted to him and she has this sort of expectation of him, and he is the one that saved her from Cairo, and like they had this whole adventure of getting to Davyabad together. But then she has also sees his possessive side, and she wasn't happy with his decision to try and steal her from Davyabad. And then their last scene together, like if he hadn't died, she would not have been like, they would have had a big argument. They would have had a falling out.
Oh yeah.
And so I think she's conflicted with the like, I want him, but with the not wanting him dead, but also hating the position that he has put her in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think, this is to do with the end scene in like Kingdom of Copper when she first saw him and she still attacked him, is because he was hurting people. He brought all of these people here to Davyabad to attack the Shafid, sorry, like all of them. And obviously she's going to attack him because she's defending everyone.
When she sees him, he's trying to put, it's a scene where him and, I can't remember the Ifrit's name, are trying to put the ring on Ali. And at this point in the book, Nari and Ali have like become quite close friends, and she's going to protect Ali from the harm that Dara seems to be putting him in. Yeah.
And I like that Dara didn't let that Ifrit do it, because that is true to Dara's character, which is good. Oh, how old are you, Adrienne?
Baby.
Oh, happy birthday, Abby. I feel awful for him, but he was being ignorant, but I'm so sad for him too. Yeah, Muntadir is complicated.
What are your predictions for Muntadir in the next book?
I don't really remember what happened. Like, I think the last thing that I remember is him with Dara, and he was he was magically healed because of Ali, and he was still with Dara. I'm guessing because
the magic had left the city. The wound started. It still was a wound, but the magic from the sword left.
Zulfikar,
Zulfikar. Poison left his system, so he's still alive.
Yeah, I totally forgot.
So he's in the hands of Manaiza now, right?
Yeah, I think he's gonna be held as like a hostage, and it's gonna be like leverage for Ali to come back to save him.
And Jamshid and Nari, because all those three people really love Muntadir. So
yeah, I don't know what happened to Jamshid. I think he went with his dad somewhere. I think to the temple. I'm not sure where exactly he went.
Kaveh is because Kaveh's in the palace because he was the one that smashed the ring that set the poison out. Right. Jamshid's with Wajed.
Ah, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they left the city.
But you don't know where.
You don't know where. Yeah, I think they're going to come back and obviously save Muntadir and take back the city. But I don't know exactly how they'll do that.
And I hope that him and Jamshid get a happy ending. That I hope more than anything.
Yeah, I want that. I want him and Jamshid to have a happy ending. I want Ali to bring back equality. I want Dara to have happiness and Nari to just treat people in the hospital.
And be free.
And what about the magic? What are your predictions for why the magic has gone? Like, what's going to happen? or how are people going to cope without magic?
With the magic being gone, I think Ali just doesn't know what he's doing, and he probably just accidentally did it. And then when he kind of discovers how to control the mark, he will bring it back, unless it might be something totally different. Or it could be because Ali might not be fully, I guess, a jinn. He might be half marid. So that could be conflicting with the magic and stuff. I don't know.
When did the magic exactly stop being there?
When he put on the ring, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's when he put on the ring.
Or maybe Nari needs to put on the ring for it to come back. I don't know. Oh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense though.
Abby, your face. I'm so sorry.
And I was going to ask another question. What do you think
go
is going to happen to Daevabad now?
I mean, chaos. I'm
Oh, yeah.
guessing. But with Manaiza there, I think the Devas would be. Wait, is the Nahids and Devas? Yeah, I think the Devas would be, I guess, happy to have her ruling, but everyone else is just going to be very miserable. I don't know if Manaiza is going to do what Ghassan did and still kill the Shafit. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not sure. But that's my
It's
theory.
gonna be very hard for those that are not in line with her. She's just gonna be like, okay, if you're not with me, you're against me. And either
Or
imprison them or just kill them.
or people are going to see how bad Manaiza is, and there's going to be an uprising, and then
Yeah.
they take over. Or help
Maybe when
Nari.
Jamshid gets back, you know?
Yeah, or let's say if the people are not happy, when Nari comes back, they'll rally with her, and then all of them will just take back Daevabad together. Abby's face, she's like,
Good prediction. Or you
Yeah, we'll see.
Did you have predictions, Ali and Abby, before you read it, and were those right or wrong? Don't say what the predictions were, obviously. But
Yeah. Like, did you have a prediction that before you went into Empire of Gold, and were they right?
Well, I did have one because of what you said your mom said.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then I don't think I had any others because honestly, I was going to wait to read it. I mean, I read it because it was like a really thick book for the next prompt. So I didn't really go into it like with a lot of thought. I was just like, this works. Let's read it.
It's hard for me to think back because I originally read it over a year ago when it was first published. So it's hard to think back of like what predictions I might have had for it.
Were you worried about anything? Because that's kind of
I feel like you're worried for everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am. I really am. I think that's why I really want to start an Empire of Gold, because it kind of ends at such a cliffhanger where everything is just in chaos and you want to see what happens.
And
will there be another time jump, or is it just like straight off?
It's straight in. So yeah, unlike the time jump to Kingdom of Copper, this is like running straight on.
Okay. And will we get the same amount of perspective, or is there more people in there?
No, there's just Jara, Ali, Nari.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
And I don't know if you get Manaiza in the beginning. The first perspective Manaiza. Yeah.
Maybe the prologue. Yeah.
The prologue's Manaiza.
I think so. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. But I think that's the only one that you get from her. The rest of them all Nari and Ali and Dara.
It'd be cool to see her perspective, but I think one chapter will be enough.
Yeah. You know, it's just that one in the beginning that's from her perspective.
So knowing that means that Jamshid needs to come back somewhere or meet up with someone, because we cannot just leave Jamshid in the wilderness. So he's either gonna come back to Dara or Nari.
Yeah.
Maybe they might meet on the journey, like Nari and Ali might meet Jamshid on the way back to Daevabad.
Or how about Ali and Nari just like, Cairo is nice. The food is nice. Let's just stay here.
Or knowing Nari, she might like rally the people at Cairo and bring them to Daevabad to fight for her. I don't know.
She's gonna bring the French soldiers, and then I'm gonna speak French, and no one's gonna understand a word of what they're saying because the accent's terrible. That's what's gonna happen.
But I do like how it interweaves like the real historical like events
Yeah.
in with
I
the
like
magical
that
thing.
too.
I mean, it's not like you get that much of history, but you do get that little bit when they're
Yeah.
where you see like the different occupations that Cairo went through. And I didn't really realize that.
I didn't either.
Me neither. Oh, actually, no, because it's during the whole pyramid era. So yeah, I remember that one. Yeah. Started City of Rest last Friday, but didn't finish it until Friday. It was I think she meant Kingdom of Copper. Yeah. That's still impressive.
Yeah, it is.
Super impressive.
It's still a big book to finish.
Well,
Especially
yeah.
for me.
It's like
Did you
600 pages.
Yeah.
I really love the ending upon a reread. Yeah, the first time I read it, I was too young, and I was like, I want a happy ending. And then now I read it, I was like, this is the perfect ending.
No, I still don't like the ending of Mockingjay. I mean, I haven't read it in years, but
for some reason, I'm satisfied with it.
Yeah.
I'm
I
satisfied
don't read
with it.
any of those books. I don't have an interest to read them now at this point.
It's
I'm
really
satisfied. I'm satisfied with the way the love triangle went. But I'm not satisfied about the death.
Oh, I think it's perfect.
That was a tragic one, but
It was
I
perfect.
feel that like now, if I think about it, I feel like that was unnecessary. If that happened earlier, sure, but if it happened then,
That's true.
I feel like unnecessary.
This is also true.
Oh,
That could be.
this is a good one. Didn't even think of that. Maybe because obviously Ali's tied to Daevabad. He's left the city.
I just want to start it now. I'm in the middle of too many books.
I'm literally counting down the days. I have 3 more days until I can pick it up.
You can pick it up after this. Nobody will know.
I need to finish the books for the read.
Oh, yeah, for the readathon.
Maybe
Like in July, we're either gonna read nothing or like.
I definitely know Empire of Gold. I'm definitely reading in July.
Yeah.
Everything else is just like whatever. You weren't supposed to be able to leave the city in the Rainbow because it only holds the magic if you are there. You're
Yeah,
such
that's awesome.
a smart cookie. Good. She should have. I stand by that. Peter and Gail was just. I didn't want either of them.
I hate Gail. I hate them.
I hate Gail too.
Every time we were watching the movies, I would message Sophia and I was like, "Stupid Gail." I would use another word that starts with an F. Stupid Gail. Stupid Gail.
I was always Team Peter. Always Team
I
Peter.
hate Gail.
I was neither of them. I was like, I don't like
Peter's
either of you.
That's sweet.
Yes, you.
Thank you.
That's cute.
I didn't like either of them at all. I feel like she should have just stayed by herself.
With the cats.
So, speaking of love triangle, there is a love triangle in this to some extent with the like Nari, Ali, Dara. But like whenever I'm like, it's not really a love triangle.
It's not really. I feel like it's a broken triangle because we don't really want her to be with anyone, and you can't really see her being with anyone. At least for me.
I like the fact that the story has those elements, but really it's not focused on them.
Yeah.
Like it's, and also not that the story's not focused on them, but Nari isn't always so heavily focused on them. Like her priority was like building the hospital and trying to find her about her heritage, about helping people. Like it wasn't like, oh my gosh, like I don't know, fawning over Dara or like getting caught up and not being able to do anything else.
Yeah.
And I think when I think of it, the feeling I get when she thinks of Dara is like these mixed feelings like you were talking about earlier. But with Ali, it's also more like I feel like the best friend that you have that he helped her learn the language and everything. And I don't really think of it as a romance per se. So
yeah. I know Christine is not here because it might be too early for her, but Christine from the Roomies Digest, she said that she thinks Ali is Ace. So I think that's an interesting thing as well. I can see Ace.
Oh.
Yeah. I feel like asexual. I feel I can see that. And I think I like that for him, but I don't know if it's like confirmed if he is.
I know.
That's her theory. What were you going to say?
There was something that was mentioned, but I don't know which book it was in, so I'm not going to mention it.
Okay.
It has something to do with like it's sexual in nature, but nothing to do with the sexuality. That helps. But I just can't remember which one. Yeah.
I don't remember.
Well,
Considering she's a healer, it would upset me if she ends up with Dara because of what he has done. How do you reconcile with that? I don't know if I'd be upset if she ends up with Dara. I think she can forgive Dara. I mean, Dara has to forgive himself first. If he ends up if he ends up doing the right thing at the end, then he needs to work on forgiving himself before Nari can forgive him.
That's so interesting. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I just I would like that to happen if this would happen.
I find it interesting. That comment is really interesting because the entire thing about Dara is his history is because a bunch of healers told him to go kill Shafit. So how does she reconcile her own ancestry as well? Because it wasn't his idea to kill people, and he did it. He took the action, so he's still partly at fault or completely at fault. But also, like, her family did that for not just this group of people in Z, but like a lot of other people too. So, I mean,
just because an alliance with healers doesn't make them the best people.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's
I like that she did that.
And you find it is in Kingdom of Copper where you find out that the hospital that Nari is rebuilding wasn't always used to heal people.
No, it was for experiments on Shafit, which is horrible. Yeah.
And so just because you're a healer doesn't necessarily mean that you are always there to help people.
Yeah.
It's
and
so
like I know Nari takes that like very seriously, but she also has ancestry that didn't. So I think there's a lot more for her to unpack and reconcile than like a love interest killing people.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that she also tries to prove, like, you know how the Devas are like, oh, you can't heal Shafit because you'll lose your powers. And I like how she rebelled against them. You're like, look, see, not everything that you know is right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, either change your ways or be in the past, and then we'll never achieve equality.
I love Nari for that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm like Team Nari, because she wants everyone to just be safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with Adriana with that, obviously, as I said, but I have a mixed relationship with her.
Yeah.
I didn't think about her last, but she's already taken action to reverse it. She wants to be a healer.
You can't really. I would say she can't really reverse it, but she can like move forward in a better way. And yes, she's taken action, but it's not because of her family history that she wants to be a healer. But in terms of reconciling murder and death, a lot of it around her, and namely in your family. I think I would be upset more if in my ancestry there were mass murderers than my love interest, because I could get away from a love interest, but I can never get away from that following me around. Yeah, and especially because in this story, like perhaps in our ancestries in this world, we don't need to talk about them as much. They're not really raised, but in her world, her ancestry is so important that it's hard to get away from it. Even if she tries to move forward in a good way, people are always going to think of that.
And plus, she was.
I mean, a lot of us don't know that much about our family history.
True, that too. But like, no one holds it against you, right? Like, our families and most families don't have such like power that we destroyed. Like,
and I like that when
we were talking about my family history earlier.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
No, I was saying how, because I read Kindred recently, and I was thinking how the main character in that, Dana, realizes that she is raised, or her ancestry is from both a white slave owner and a slave, and she goes back as a black woman and into the 1800s and comes to that realization. And part of me was thinking of my family, because we know that we have a similar history, that I've been related to both a slave and a slave owner. And it's not much that I don't know that much about it, apart from that I know that's in my ancestry. But if I was going back, I'd have a very different experience to her because I am very white. And so I guess the slave ancestry within me is not so prevalent. I don't know. It's just gets you to thinking about what's in your history.
Yeah, definitely. It's also interesting if you could go back and just like see everything, you know, because I don't know about you guys, but I don't know much. I don't even know like my great grandparents. I don't even know their names or anything. So imagine if you could go back 100 years and see what was your family doing. And especially because all my family came from Portugal, but probably also from Africa because like the Morocco side and stuff. And when there was the wars and all that, it's like what happened, you know, and then but like you said, for Nari, it's very important because it's such a big deal that she is what she is. And I loved that when Isaac came to Daevabad and she got to meet her mother, who she thought was dead, she wasn't like, oh, but this is my mother, I have to be with her. No, she realized that this person is doing crap and it's not good. And so she stuck true to herself, and I really love that about her. Because she could have also gone the other way and said, but this is my mother, you know, and she didn't.
But I think it's interesting for Nari as a whole because she grew up and she spent 20 years of her life with no heritage and being an orphan and not knowing where she came from. And then she's like sucked into Daevabad and suddenly she has all this history and all this ancestry, which she can look back on and see all of the history of what the Nahids have done. So I think it's, I guess, a bit tricky for her to reconcile going from like no heritage to all this heritage.
That too. That's got to be hard.
Yeah, and there's a lot of emphasis on like family first, and with Nari, it's just kind of like, well, you're doing the wrong thing, and she doesn't put family first. She puts herself first because that's what she's always had to do. And that doesn't mean she doesn't want family. She wants family. And she was so happy that Jamshid is related to her because she finally feels like she has family. She's not alone anymore.
Yeah.
But she still is true to herself and not let family get in the way of doing the right thing.
Yeah, she's such a good character.
Actually,
I think the difference though between like having an unknown mother suddenly appear like Manaisa and having Jamshid being her brother, because she's like, she knows Jamshid, she's got a relationship with him, and so for him to be her brother, she's like, oh, it's a different situation.
Yeah. My ancestors came from India, South India specifically, and my mom actually took me to where my, I guess, great grandparents used to live, like their village and stuff like that. I went there and I saw everything. It was pretty cool. She also took me because in our culture in India, we have family temples. So I got to see my family temple in India as well. And I don't think it's there anymore because it's been a really long time. I think I went there when I was 12 and it was already pretty old. And I don't think it's there anymore. But it was really cool to see my family's history. So I definitely understand about family history.
This is a series where I'm really excited to see how it ends, but I don't want it to end.
I don't want it to end either. I
felt the same way like when I first read The Empire of Copper, the Empire of Gold. I was like, I never want this book to end. You know, when you're reading a book and you're like, I just want to see how it ends. I want to see what's going to happen, but I don't want it to end.
Yeah.
And I had the same thing when I was listening to the audiobook on my walk just now. And I was like, do I want to keep listening to this? Because I don't want it to stop. And then like I was at a scene which I knew it was coming, but I was like, I don't want to listen to this scene. And I was like, Abby, you just have to keep listening. You're like, you have to keep listening. Like, you knew it was coming.
I'm so sad. I'm so invested in all these characters. I don't want anything bad happening to them, but I know it's going to happen. Either mom's side is very English and my dad's very Portuguese, but on that I have no idea. Yeah.
I think we weirdly know quite a lot. Like we've got a whole like book written on our ancestry. I've got a lot of Shropshire in me. That's a lot. I know we spent a lot of time in Shropshire. And like,
I know my family is like pretty much all Greek, but like also I'm not entirely sure because my mom's side of the family I think was from Constantinople before it was Istanbul, so they fled during the war to Athens. So I've never been to Constantinople, but she was born there before they fled. So it was like a pretty recent war. I mean, recent as in like.
Yeah, I think we can relate to that as well, because I know that my granny, her grandparent or grandfather, we don't know where he was from. We don't know whether he was like Polish or Czech or German or Austrian, because we don't have any like record of where he was from or anything. All we know is that he was like interned on the Isle of Man when he fled, because they were scared like from Europeans coming into Britain at the time, that they put them not in concentration camps but like camps in the UK.
What is it with humans putting other humans into camps? It's so weird.
I mean, I think the camps were pretty like, they weren't torture camps or anything. They were just, these people, we're not sure if we can trust them, so they're over here.
I think my family, they came from India to Malaysia because they needed to, like, I think people in Malaysia needed more people to come and tend to the like rubber estates, because they're like, they need rubber tappers basically. So a lot of I think my great granddad, he managed an estate and did like rubber tapping and stuff like that. And I think he died when I was 1, so I don't know him. But my great grandma, I love her so much, but she also died a couple of years ago. So it was just really cool to hear stories about like my dad and his brothers growing up in that estate, and it's just so different to how obviously we grew up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's always fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay, we've reached the hour.
21 now. Children. Sophia, wow.
What was that?
She decided that my granddad was the last of around 21 children from the same parents. That's almost a lot of generations in one go. Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, imagine having 21 children.
Oh my God.
So the same woman had 20.
I know. I thought my
one to come out of me. That's 21.
Holy crap.
Jeez.
Good for her.
Dang,
I know.
Scary.
I mean, that must have been pretty constant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's almost one a year for your fertile years. Yeah.
Wow.
Dang.
Oof.
Can you imagine?
I can't. I don't want to.
Yeah, no, me neither. Then you always have a mouth to feed. You always have babies crying.
Your body is like never your own either.
Yeah. Wow.
Insane.
Oh, wow. That's wild.
You're either like or stealing.
Yeah, wow.
But see, that's not even that long ago. That's not even that many generations ago. And now our generations are like, maybe one, maybe if I get the courage, maybe 2, but let's not push it.
Maybe just a lot of cats.
Or
maybe
exactly,
just
a lot of books, a lot of cats,
a lot of books and cats,
turtles, a couple of chickens.
Yeah, turtles.
Because like I had a friend in school, and she was one of like 6, and I remember like me and my mum talking like, oh, that's a lot of children, like 6. Like they just kept going, but like that's nothing on 21.
I know. Wow. I thought my great grandmother had a lot of kids, because my grandma has 7 siblings, so I thought that was a lot.
Yeah.
No.
21 cats. Yeah.
Me too. Yeah. Just a cat farm.
I just want 21 dogs. I just want dogs.
Oh, that would be so perfect.
I know.
Dogs are so cute. And
They
cats too. Their little triangle noses. And you're just like,
Oh.
Yeah.
Not want one. Can't have one. Not yet. So sad.
For a dog, I also have to wait. At least I have my cat.
Anyway, we're on the hour now. We shall end this. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We will have the Empire of Gold live show at the end of July, probably around this time, and probably the same time as well, if everyone's okay with that. Yeah. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. So I definitely enjoyed this. I love talking about Kingdom of Copper now. It's one of my favorites. And thank you, ladies, for joining me and keeping up the conversation.
Thank you.
And We'll
Looking
see.
forward to discussing Empire of Gold.
Yeah, no,
excited.
I know it's like kind of like happy that we're going to the next one, but also so sad because it's ending.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we start another series where the same problem is going to happen.
I know. I'm actually excited. I think so far Crown of Feathers is winning.
Yeah.
I was
I'm
surprised I was
surprised.
going to be the other one, the daughter of
Yeah,
Smoking Button.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to win too. I'm surprised that Crown of Feathers is winning. But I'm going to give
I'm
the people what they want. All right, guys. Have a good day or night wherever you are. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.